right, we did it. Here we are. We are live. You should be watching on either my YouTube, on Bear Mountain's Facebook, or on Instagram Live, and then realize that Instagram Live is not a good way to watch it. Follow me on Instagram, and then go watch us on one of those other two mediums. My name is Dave Williamson. I am host of the Meet Dave podcast. I am a full-time stand-up comedian who loves barbecue so much that I started my own podcast, and then I built this in my front yard. We teamed up today with Bear Mountain barbecue brand pellets, and they have some other great products to do this live stream today to get people ready for the big game, the Super Bowl. I don't even know what the legality is of whether I'm allowed to say that or not. And so we're going to just have some fun today. It's real loosey-goosey. We're drinking some beers. We're cooking some meat. I got some guests coming on. We're going to give some stuff away. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Our side is frozen, but we just want to make sure that everybody's isn't. But this is frozen right now.
That computer's frozen? This looks great. Can you guys hear me okay in there? Yeah, they can hear me, dude. Awesome. Yeah, they're good. So just give that a second. Maybe that'll unfreeze, but they can hear me right here. As people are coming in, I see Rob Thayer's there. I see Stephen Blair. I see someone named Narf is here. So we're good to go, man. You know, this is going to be, look, when you're live and you've got Ethernet coming out to your front yard and you got a street right there and birds making noise overhead, there might be some stalls. We don't know. We don't care. Look, guys, it cost us nothing to do this. We're just having fun. So if it stalls a little bit, so what? We're going to roll with it. So on that note, I have a really cool story to start off with to tell you guys. I decided, yeah, loud and clear, man. These guys are good to go. So I decided that I was going to cook some stuff today and just kind of have some fun with it. Maybe it was ready, maybe it wasn't. My setup right here is I've got a Tec pellet smoker back here. Bear Mountain hooks me up with some great pellets. I fell in love with their pellets. I got some different brands that we can go over later today. And when JR is at the camera, I'll swing over here and I'll show you. This is my big boy over here. This is my stick burner in the front yard. This is my Assassin 32 gravity fed smoker. That's my barbecue mascot up there, Ham Marino. I grew up in Miami, if you couldn't tell. So when I'm burning sticks, I like to use this bad boy. When I'm using my pellets, I like to use this little guy right here. He's small but mighty. An awesome smoker, my Tec 340. So anyways, today I decided to throw some beef ribs in for you guys. I decided to throw a tomahawk steak on my Santa Maria grill over here out of the frame. And I also did a tri-tip in the smoker. And then right a couple hours ago, I got a phone call from some comedian friends of mine, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. The helicopter going over, see? That's the paparazzi coming. They know this story is coming. So those guys went out fishing today with NFL legend Warren Sapp, who's going to do a live stream with them on Sunday for the big game. So I'll link a link in here later that you guys can check that out and buy a ticket to watch the game with them if you want to. So anyways, they hit me up and go, hey, we just got back from fishing. Could we come by your house? And I go, well, I got some stuff on the smoker. Sure. So they brought their fish by and for me to cook it for them. And they ended up eating all my food. So just to show you guys, I did prepare. These were some beef ribs that we were going to do here for the live stream. These animals, chow down on that. This was a tomahawk steak I had in my fridge that we did on the Santa Maria grill. Came out great. And then I still got a little bit of tri-tip left. All on my Tec or my Santa Maria grill. Tri-tip. Beef ribs were in the Tec. The tomahawk was on the Santa Maria grill, and the tri-tip was both. I did it in the Tec to 129 and then seared it on the Santa Maria grill. I'm excited to find out what you guys are cooking. I'm going to do a Wagyu brisket for Sunday. I'm going to do a couple beef ribs for those guys live stream, cooking for them, and some other stuff as well. So put in the comments, let me know what you're cooking on Sunday, and we're going to do some giveaways today as well. But first, I'm going to bring in my first guest. This gentleman actually is associated, works with Bear Mountain, and he's quite the pitmaster himself. Please welcome in. Are you frozen, Maddie?
Still frozen.
All right, there we go. We're frozen. We can't bring Bennett. You might have to restart, Maddie, and we'll just have to hope that don't get kicked out when you do that.
Okay, we'll do a hard restart. I think it might, but...
Okay, either that or you could open up a different browser, like leave this one running and then open a different browser and try to log in again and then kick yourself out.
I think it was just...
Okay. Well, if we lose you guys when she does a reset here, then just log back on in a minute after we reset the computer. Doesn't matter how hard you prepare, guys. Something's always going to go wrong, right? Well, while we're waiting for her to bring in a guest, let's talk to you. I'm going to walk up here. I got my monitor right in front, so excuse me if it looks a little weird. We got Tommy's going to do some wings and ribs. Joe Wong's making pizza and nachos. Are you doing that in the smoker, Joe? I've always wanted to do some pizzas, like a brisket pizza, stuff like that in my big boy over here. I've yet to do it. Let me see what else. Someone else isn't cooking, just wondering what time to come over here, Strawberry Bunny. Anytime you want. If you're ever near El Segundo, you just message me. Chicken drumsticks, Barry's going to do that. Let me tell you, I did some killer chicken drumsticks the other day. I just did them last minute. I threw them in the Rec Tec, got them up to temp, and then I fired my grill up, got it real hot, and seared the outside after I tossed them in some sauce. Unbelievable. So easy to do, and is just cheap, too. It's cheap. It's a crowd pleaser. Love it. What's up, man? Looking good. Thanks, Kin Chan. Appreciate you, buddy. So we're going to give away some stuff today, but I'm waiting for Ben to come in, hopefully, so we can go over that together. We're going to give away some pellets. We're going to give away T-shirts, koozie, a hat. We got some sauces. We got a couple guests coming up as soon as we get the computer situation figured out. The first guest, like I said, is going to be Ben Madden. Our second guest is going to be Brian Gurney from Bad Bones Barbecue, and he sent me these sauces recently. I got to tell you, man, legit. This is my favorite right here. It's a honey mustard barbecue sauce. Unreal. I love honey mustard. I went to college in the South down in at Auburn University in Alabama, so I love honey mustard. And you mix honey mustard with barbecue sauce so that I don't feel weird just putting honey mustard on meat. Killer stuff. I recommend it. So we might see if we can give some of that away later on too. So we're just going to chill out. We're going to waste a little time here. Let's do a little trivia, and we'll do a giveaway before we bring Ben in, okay? So we're going to give away 2 bags of pellets. I'm going to give away the first bag of pellets now. I want to hear the best barbecue team name for a football team. So if you owned your own NBA franchise, let's say you owned the Washington Redskins, and they're not allowed to be called the Redskins anymore, so they got to come up with their own football team. Come up with your own NFL team name that is barbecue related. And we're going to pick our favorite before the end. I'm going to give away a bag of pellets from Bear Mountain to that person, okay? Just leave it in the comments, either on YouTube or on Facebook. We get them all brought together right there. We're good to go? You got Ben in there? We did it, guys. We fixed it. All right. I'm telling you, the nice thing about podcasting is that you can go back and edit. When you're live, this is a whole nother story. But we got you now, Ben. You're on the stream. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. I tried to just sneak out and grab another beer while I was waiting. I wasn't sure how long that was going to take there.
See, you got too comfortable. You got too comfortable.
Yeah.
You were getting comfortable in our mistakes. You thought you had more time than you did.
Oh, no worries. But it warmed up. It helped me warm up a little bit. It's like mid-30s out here. I'm sitting outside on my back porch. I thought it'd be the right place to do this around the barbecue and
heck yeah, dude.
Getting some product going. So I've been cooking
Ben?
all afternoon. I'm based just outside of Denver.
Okay, so it's colder
Colorado
there than it is here in Los Angeles, is what you're saying.
Yeah, a little bit.
I just threw on my sweatshirt and I was like, it's chilly, but I don't think I'm getting any sympathy from you. But, you know, that's a real thing, dude. I would love for people to comment on this too, man. I never really took into consideration the hardship that people who live in cold places have to go through to keep their smokers up to temp, or just the fact that you got to get all bundled up to go out and check your food in the middle of the night. Because I normally sleep on my couch right by my door when I'm smoking a brisket overnight or something. And then every 2 hours when my alarm comes off, I just throw slippers on and I walk out in my underwear and I check my smoker. But you guys, man, that's the struggle where you live.
Well, that's why we pellet grill, right? And we don't, with pellets, you don't have to worry about that. You just kind of, you got that set it and forget it kind of convenience, and it makes a lot of those kind of worries go away. So you can watch your grill from the window and keep an eye on your temperatures, and then just come out and get it when it's ready to go. Yep.
Well, cheers to that, buddy. I got my Bear Mountain koozie, and I'm drinking a
same here.
A Broken Skull double IPA from El Segundo Brewery right here in my hometown. And
Nice.
I had a couple. I don't know if you heard my story earlier, but I got some guests. Warren Sapp of NFL fame came by and ate all my barbecue that I was cooking for you, buddy. So
Wow.
So you're gonna have to do the heavy lifting with all the food on here, man. I was all prepared. This was a tomahawk. These were beef ribs. Look, this is to the bone, bro.
Wow.
So the food's gonna be up to you, man.
That's how you eat a tomahawk. You clean the bones, right?
Look, I wanted to do this live stream to help people get psyched up for cooking for Super Bowl. And I don't know, even though I don't have the food, I don't know if you can get any more psyched up than having an actual Super Bowl champion come by your house because they want to try your barbecue. That's pretty cool, man.
That's awesome.
If I wasn't into barbecue like
I
Warren Sapp wouldn't have stopped at my house today. That's for sure,
And maybe at some point in the future I can get Josh Allen to come by my house and when he's getting ready for the Super Bowl and try some barbecue. That would be great. So
100%.
I know you're a Dolphins fan and we're probably bitter rivals at this point, but that's okay.
Man, it's all about the game day experience, dude. I've gotten to this point in my life where I don't get all tied up in rivalries and hating teams.
No.
It's all about, dude, even if my team stinks, it's all about cooking chicken wings and cooking ribs and just having the pageantry of a good football game. So what are you cooking today, buddy?
So speaking of chicken wings, I threw these together a little earlier today.
Nice.
So we've got some nice what I call them smoke roasted chicken wings. So we start off with a smoke, let them kind of bathe in smoke for about an hour and a half, and then crank the temperature and sear them off. So you get a nice crispy finish to the wing. And I've got a couple sauces I put together here too. One is one of my favorites. I went to college in Buffalo. I love hot sauce. I love Buffalo style hot sauce, but I also love bourbon. So I put that together. I do a Frank's hot sauce with bourbon, butter, chipotle powder, garlic powder, and some honey, and throw that together for a perfect wing sauce there. And then the other one here is for the kids. This is a barbecue sauce that they don't know, but I put some Guinness in there and some brown sugar just to make it more fun. But it's a great sauce for them, and it's a great way for us to mix it up. I like hot, they don't, so we can have a great time and still enjoy the same food.
Nice. Just real quick too, I love that I see these team names coming in. I can't wait to read through all of them and pick the favorite. I'm going to give away a free bag of Bear Mountain pellets to somebody who comes up with the most clever NFL team name that's barbecue related. You guys have a lot of brands. How many total different flavors of pellets do you guys have these days, Ben?
Yeah, right now we've got 14 different flavors of pellets. We've got a lot of your.
How good are you? If I smoked 14 rags of rib and each one of them had the different pellets, would you be able to pick out which ones were smoked with which one, or is it too subtle?
Probably not. I think the differences between some of them are pretty subtle, but you could tell the difference really well between like a mesquite, for instance, and an apple. And you get more robust smoke versus some of the more mild, lighter smokes. So what we've done is we've created a line of different blends as well to really help out that beginner novice smoker that doesn't know, hey, do I use apple for this? Do I use hickory for this or mesquite? No one really knows until you really start to get into the craft a little bit more. So what we've done is taken some of that guesswork out with our craft blend line and went with a bold, a gourmet, a sweet, and a savory to really help guide that new pellet griller into the right flavors to create the right meal. And that's really the goal. It's all about flavor,
I really like the bourbon flavor that you guys have. I don't know if that's just subconsciously. I love bourbon so much, so it makes me feel kind of fancy when I'm smoking meat. But I like the flavor I get from that one.
Yeah, that's one of our newer ones. We actually just released that one later in the fall last year. So really kind of re-releasing here in the spring as we go into barbecue season. And there you go. It's gone from brand new to being one of our top sellers on our website, and our customers really love that bourbon blend. So yeah, it's a great blend. I've been cooking on that one Today I've been cooking on a couple things. I do a mix of a mesquite and a cherry is what I did the chicken wings on, and then on the grill right now. Let me bring the camera over to the grill. You guys can see I've got a couple things going right here for the family, but we got a rack of ribs here in the back. All right, so
Nice.
I'm hoping Warren Sapp doesn't catch a plane and get over here soon enough to get these.
I think you're safe, man. He's pretty full right now.
Yeah, and then in here we've got some burnt ends going too.
Beautiful.
So just kind of a last minute pickup, but I've been doing these on the bourbon blend all day today, so really looking forward to tapping into those with the family here.
What's that smoker you got there, buddy?
Yeah, so that's the Tec Bullseye.
Nice.
I picked that thing up in the fall. It is super fun.
I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, I think for anyone that's looking or thinking about a pellet grill, coming over from a gas or charcoal, it's a great way. It's kind of that really nice transition grill, if you will, because it still gets to very high temperatures, so you can do really good searing. It's great for pizzas. A lot of things that high temperature is really beneficial, but still utilizing pellets and getting that great smoke flavor and adding that to your food. So I've been a big fan of this grill since I threw it on the deck. I have another grill back here. I throw it over my head here. I've actually been using this guy now for about 9 years. And
nice. Good setup, buddy.
Yeah, and you know, that's a great one to just kind of rock a nice all day smoke on. But using the combination of the two and moving fruit from one to the other and just having a great time with this afternoon.
Dude, nothing brings me more joy than when I can incorporate two of my apparatuses into one cook. Like if I'm doing the chicken wings, like you said, and I smoke them and then I sear them on the propane grill, or like I did earlier, I did the tri-tip in the smoker and then I seared it on the Santa Maria grill and the hot coals. I love when I go from one to the next. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing something. Yeah,
and that I think I've got a culinary background where you learn how to cook on a stove and on fire, right? And you're cooking over on a range, and now you come out on a pellet grill, and it creates amazing flavor, but it's very almost like kind of too simple. It's really easy to just do this, but having that live fire, that live cooking experience really is just so much fun. That's what I really thrive on. So to me, it's just been a blast. Like between the two, I mean, on this Tec, when I was first getting used to it, I actually got a really nice grease fire where I did I smoked a corned beef. Christmas Eve, I did a corned beef to make some hash for Christmas morning, and I got a big time grease fire when I cranked the temperature to riot mode, and was cooking a pizza, and the whole thing lit up. It was awesome. I had like 8-foot flames coming out the top. It was like the third or fourth cook I ever did on it, so I was just trying to learn, and it really just made me. It was exciting, You get that excitement of really being a part of a cooking experience.
Yeah, you're not a true pit master until you had a flare up that scared you a little bit.
I'd say until you had a flare up where you lost some eyebrows. That's really the key.
Yeah, for sure. And also, how committed you are by how quickly you go to save the meat over your house or something like that.
Yep.
That's always my first move. Is dude, it happened to me in Thanksgiving. I had a turkey in there, and I had a big flare up. In my smoker, and I was like, I had to get that turkey out quick because otherwise it was going to taste like soot, and I can't ruin Thanksgiving,
Yep.
So for sure, I want to dive into your burn ends in a second here, but first, I want to say great job to everyone for their team names. I can't wait to read through them because there's some good ones coming in. Let's give away something else. We're going to give away a Bear Mountain t-shirt and hat. Ben and I are sporting our hats right here. And anybody who's watching this on Facebook, if you mash that share button and send it to your Facebook page, and we'll be able to see everyone who did that. We're going to pick one at random and give away a t-shirt and a hat to someone who shares this live feed and lets people know that, hey, they should check it out. We're going to be on here for a little while, all right? So please share it if you're watching on any of the Facebooks, and tell your friends to watch along. So burnt ends are something I get questions about a lot. It seems like there's a lot of different techniques to get in there. And to be honest, I was very meticulous about following instructions when I first started doing burnt ends and the pork belly burnt ends. And it was one of the things that I was getting the most inconsistent results with, you know? They're coming out very different. So now, honestly, just like a lot of things, I mostly cook to just temp and to texture these days. If I feel like they need to be wrapped, they're wrapped. If they seem like they're coming out all right, then I just let them ride, you know? I really feel it out. What's kind of your strategy with the burnt ends?
Well, so this is one of the, this morning I actually was over at the local grocery store and I saw some beef short ribs on clearance, and I decided, hey, that's perfect for making some burnt ends. So I just went for it.
Hoity-toity burnt ends, dude.
Yeah. So you know, I think I'm in the same boat. You know, I think you kind of feel it out as you go. You know, really similar to a brisket. I think if you've seen some of the way Aaron Franklin kind of, you know, analyzes when his brisket is ready, it's not about necessarily the temperature and following your probes. It's about picking it up and wiggling it, right? And that's what barbecue's all about. It's a feel. It's a you know, you squeeze it and you just kind of know, yep, that's ready to go.
Now,
or it needs another 25 minutes.
On that note, I've learned a lot from watching Aaron Franklin's content. He does a great job putting videos out, and I have his book and everything. But I will say, you're hitting the nail on the head, because when you watch a lot of people do instructionals on YouTube, it's like, here's the time, here's the temperature, here's what you're shooting for, here's what, you know, it's very instructional, paint by numbers. But Aaron Frank, it's almost like Michael Jordan trying to teach someone how to do, how to shoot a basketball, because so much stuff is like, you just cook it until it feels like this, and now this looks good. So when you're first starting out, it's really hard to follow, because you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What am I looking for? Now, when I go back and watch it, I go, oh, I know what he's talking about.
Well, I'd say my wife, a great example, my wife is actually a cake decorator. And, you know, when you're doing cakes, you follow a recipe, you put it in the oven, it comes out a certain way. But when it comes time to get on the grill or get in, you know, cooking on the stove, she's like, well, how long does this have to go? I was like, well, when it's ready, you'll know.
Yeah,
and
man.
She has no idea. And it's really a feel. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's all about just kind of knowing your food, knowing what it should feel like and taste like and look like. You know, visually, you want to see something that really says like, yeah, this is ready to go. So I think I've come from the original kind of when I first got going and I was cooking on stick burners, and I had an offset smoker. I used to have a char griller barrel smoker, you know, the guy that you find at Home Depot for like $130.
Yep, and that's what my first one was, an offset from Home Depot for $99, Memorial Day weekend sale. Yeah,
I mean, it's a great grill to get started on. You kind of learn the ropes. You usually wind up like cooking a lot of bad food, and you get bad smoke. But you learn, right? You kind of learn, and then you get to the point where, you know, where I learned about pellet grilling, and I realized, like, wow, I don't have to spend all day sitting in a lawn chair right next to my smoker. I can just kind of set it and forget it and still get great food. So that's where I really moved into pellet grilling, that ease, that convenience, and then now it's really that combination of like high temp grilling, of what you can do with the reverse sear. You mentioned earlier of reverse searing your tri-tip. I mean, we're kind of lucky where we are in Colorado. I think we're about as far east as you go and still get tri-tip. And it is such a great meat to cook. I love cooking tri-tip. It's one of my family favorites. Buddy. Yep. Delicious. Yeah, you know, the best deal out here is you go to Costco, you get 2 tri-tips for like $15, and you do a reverse sear on those. And we've got a great recipe on our website for a reverse sear tri-tip. I'd recommend you check it out.
So yeah, that's a good point, man. So a lot of the recipes I get are from the brands that I use. RecTec, we were talking about them already on their app. They have some great recipes that you just click the button. So at what's the website where people can go and see the Bear Mountain recipes?
Yes, if you go to www.bearmountainbbq.com, and then on the drop down for recipes, we've got a lot of recipes for, pretty much everything. You look at like recipes for the big game coming up, right? We've got some jalapeno poppers and wings, and we've got some great contributor recipes from some of our influencers that really are just ideal for the big game. But we've also got some other ones that we've developed over the years for pizza and turkey and tri-tip. So you name it. So it's a great little resource that we're always adding to and building up that recipe library.
All right, so I want to bring some value to the people that are watching, and on that note, for throwing some stuff together for the big game or whatever, and likewise, I want to learn from them. So, as we get into this a little bit, if you guys have a really great smoking tip or something that is something that you think is really valuable knowledge to either an experienced or a brand new pitmaster, drop it in the comments. See if we can learn from each other here. So I will say jalapeno poppers are so much fun because it is so easy. You go get the jalapenos, you have them, you scoop them, and then what you put in it does not matter. You start with cream cheese, and then you grab whatever you think is delicious, and you throw it in the bowl, and you mix it together.
Yep.
And you can literally, like, I cook and smoke meat a lot when we're out on the tour bus, and sometimes I got to work with whatever we got. So I'll look and see what sauces we have from restaurants we've been to recently, or some leftovers. I'll dice them up and just make a big bowl of goop. And then you just put that in the middle of the jalapeno, wrap it in bacon, throw it in the smoker for an hour, hour and a half. It is delicious. And that's the kind of thing too, where a little goes a long way. So if you're having guests over, I don't think anyone's having a big party this year. I hope you're not. I hope it's just you and some family members, or maybe neighbors that are within your quarantine bubble. Warren Sapp is in my personal quarantine bubble now. Just wanted to throw that out there. But you just put that you just spoon it out, put it in the jalapeno, wrap it. It's so good. Another little tidbit, as we're talking about chicken wings, this is something that I've liked to go back to the well to quite a few times. You run through Chick-fil-A and you ask for extra sauce. And I love tossing my chicken wings in Chick-fil-A sauce. It takes me a long time to open up every single little individual packet there, but I do the chicken wings in the smoker, and then I pull them out, I throw them in a bowl, I toss them, and then I either put them back in the smoker if I feel like they need a little bit more time, or if I feel like I've gone too far and I don't want to overcook them, then I'll just sear them so that the sauce gets kind of, congealed on there. Those are a couple little tidbits. What do you do for your chicken wings to make sure, because that's one of the problems that most people say that they have with smoking wings, is that they're delicious, but the skin comes out, kind of rubbery. So I always make sure I put a little bit of oil on the outside. And then I also, if I test them out, whenever they're ready, I take a little nibble. And if it's a little too rubbery for me, then I sear them. What do you kind of go that same route?
Actually, I don't. I take a little different approach here. So one of the things I'll do with a wing is when I'm making my rub for the wing is I'll actually mix in a little bit of baking soda or baking powder, into that rub. So today with these wings, what I did is I used some of the Swine Life rub from our friends down at Swine Life and Mark Williams. Yeah. And I tossed it with some baking powder. And what that does is it changes that pH balance in the skin of the wing, and that allows it to get crispy. So what I do is I do that. I throw it on the smoker for about I think I did about an hour and a half today, usually between an hour and a half at a smoke temperature. So what you want to do is get that fat to render underneath the skin and start to render out. And then you turn the temperature up, right? So it's kind of that reverse sear kind of style of wing cooking that is going to allow you to then crisp the skin when you get that temperature turned up. So once you do that, you cook them off for maybe another 30 minutes for a pellet grill on high. You're probably around 450, 500 degrees. Finish them off that way, and you've got perfect crispy wings every single time.
Nice. Yeah, and I see some people dropping some ideas in the comments. Jim says that he uses baking powder. I've heard some other people say that. That's a good way to go.
Yep.
And then Ben is agreeing with me. He smokes them, then sears them. So Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get the final product, but definitely smoking wings are so delicious. And same thing, by the way, chicken thighs, but bone-in chicken thighs are so underrated. They're still affordable, just like chicken wings, and they're like little meat pillows, my buddy calls them. And you cook them essentially the same way. That's a really underrated protein in my mind.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's the most underrated barbecue meat is your chicken thigh. You know, the fat content in a chicken thigh, it takes on so much of that smoke flavor. And it just, as that fat renders out, it becomes so juicy and delicious, where a chicken breast, it kind of lends itself to that high temperature cooking.
Yep.
The chicken thigh is great for a smoker. So another little tidbit here, that I don't have I should have had the recipe. I was thinking about making it today, so I'm sorry for that, for being unprepared. But I do want to bring it up, and if anybody wants this recipe, just message me on Instagram at Dave W Comedy, and I will send it to you. But here comes the paparazzi, helicopters, paparazzi. You're back again.
A long-standing Super Bowl tradition in my house is pizza dip. So my wife makes a dip with cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, tomato, and pepperoni. And then she cooks it in the oven, and then you dip your chips in it. And then the past 2 years, I've started doing it in the smoker. And it is delicious. Message me if you want that recipe. I will send it to you. It is always a crowd favorite. So I'm going to ask you about the ribs real quick, and then we're going to bring in our next guest. So we're going to start talking beef ribs with him. And Ben, if you want to stick around when I bring Brian in, you can, and we can all just talk together. It's your call, okay? I don't know if you got to go tend to your food or not, but I'm just throwing that out there.
I'd love to.
You got some pork ribs on the smoker, right?
I do, yeah. I've got some St. Louis style ribs.
So I saw you had some foil on them. Let's talk a little bit about your method for the ribs. Now, 3-2-1 is probably the most famous way to do ribs. You throw them on, you go 3 hours with your rub, just with the rub on them on the smoker at around 225 to 250, depending on how you feel your relationship with your smoker is. And then you go 2 hours with them wrapped in foil. And I would say personally that ribs are probably something that benefits from being in foil versus butcher paper. Most beefs I would prefer to put in butcher paper. Pork, nothing wrong with having them in the foil because it kind of steams them and softens them a little bit. And then you take them out for that last hour, you sauce them. That's the 3-2-1 method on the smoker. I started off learning with the 3-2-1 method, and then I slowly started working my way down. I like them to have a little pull off the bone. And if you go the full 3-2-1, I was finding it was just mush. Some people like it that way, some don't. So then I started cheating it. I would go like 2.5 hours, 1.5 hours, 45 minutes. I was cheating it a little bit. Now, because, once you start doing it where you're cooking like 20 racks at a time, I just started cutting the wrap out because I realized if I just kept the temperature low and I spritzed them every now and again, I could keep them moist and they would have a nice flavor and they would have a nice pull off the bone. I don't even wrap. I just go about 5 hours straight up and I just sauce them towards the end. That's pretty easy breezy.
That's it. That's typically what I do today because I was in the middle of work at the same time. I threw them in foil, and I actually threw a little Guinness in there with them just to kind of soften them up and keep them going. But with the RecTec, what I really like about this grill is it cooks at a little higher temperature. So what I did was about a 2 and 2. So 2 hours smoke, and then I did about 2 hours in foil, and they're ready to go. So I took them off. After the foil, I put a little bit of sauce back on them. They're actually done. They've been done for a little bit. This is a little bit more for show. But, this thing kind of cooks things at a different temperature. And as I've learned about it, I actually really enjoy it because it cooks a rib a little faster. It gives me that pull. Exact same experience you've had. When I've done that 3-2-1, you end up with mush. If you were to try to take that rack of ribs and flip it over or something, it falls apart. So this is a great way to get that that nice meaty rib. It's nice pull when you're eating it.
Scott likes to put honey on them. Yeah, that's a good call.
Oh, delish. Yeah, in the sauce I've got on these, I've got a honey. It's I like to use it's actually a Masterpiece barbecue sauce that I use as a base, and then I added some Guinness, some paprika, chipotle powder, garlic, and honey and brown sugar. So it really kind of sweetened them up with some of that stuff, but the honey really just helps it stick, and it gives you that nice sticky caramelization that you're looking for. So every bite you get that you get that nice rib mustache. That's really the key. That's what you're looking for. You want a rib mustache on your ribs. You want a buffalo sauce mustache on your wings.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, dude. Let's. Can you stick around, Ben?
Yeah, I definitely can.
All right. Let's have you stick around because I want to talk a little bit about the ribs you did, the beef ribs you did with the burn ends versus these bad boys. And we're going to bring in our next guest before we bring that up because he wanted to talk a little bit about the big old dino beef ribs. So from Bad Bones Barbecue, we're going to bring in Brian Gurney now to join us. And boom, there he is. What's up, Brian? How's it going, buddy?
Hanging in there, doing well.
Cheers.
So, Brian,
Cheers.
You're coming in from the Northwest, right?
Yep, we're just outside of Portland. Kind of cold and gloomy here right now, but we're going to start heading into spring and breaking out some of the smokers that are covered up and start cooking again.
And you're smarter than Ben. Ben decided to do this from outside where he's freezing his tail off, and you're inside nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got a
pretty cold
jacket.
and wet here. Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm just chilling in Los Angeles, bragging.
Nice.
So, Brian, I did some beef ribs earlier, man. I know that I talked to you on the phone about this the other day. So since you were going to talk about beef ribs, I thought it'd be cool if I had some beef ribs and pull them out of the smoker and kind of got your take on them. I was going to see hey, Brian, how did I do? Because I know that you're, a champion competition barbecue, trophy winner when it comes to ribs and all kinds of stuff. I was going to try to impress you and be like, Brian, check it out. And then these dudes came by the house and they ate all my ribs today.
I was going to say they look a little scrawny to me. That's the big challenge is getting good meaty ribs. I mean, honestly, I go all over town trying to find them, and really it depends kind of how the butcher trims them. But if you can get a nice big dino rib, that's the best there is.
So for people watching, that is, when it comes to beef ribs, that is 100%, I think, the most important point is beef ribs, to get a good product, is actually they're not the hardest thing in the world to smoke. We'll go over that in a second. But the hardest part is just buying them right. And when you go to the grocery store, you could buy them, normally they're cut up into short ribs. So it's delicious, but it's not going to give you the product of those big Fred Flintstone Texas style barbecue ribs that you're normally going to find. You generally have to either go to a butcher shop or ask the butcher at the grocery store. And the way to do that, just so you guys know, if you don't know, is you ask them for plated beef ribs. If you use the word plated, and then normally it comes with 3 bones. So it's 3 big bones like this. You can get it with 4 or 5 too, depending on who it is. But generally they do it with 3 bones. That's how you get those big dino beef ribs. You just ask for them plated. That's the magic word. Right, Brian?
Absolutely. And you got to go to a butcher. If you go to the grocery store, they trim all the meat out from in between the bones, and there's just not a whole lot left. By the time you get done smoking them, they shrivel up and it's dry and there's nothing there. So if you can find a good butcher that'll leave a lot of that meat on and some of the marbling, that's where you got to go.
So I don't know if you were logged on earlier, but I got your sauces here, buddy.
Nice.
And I got to tell you, they're all awesome. But this honey mustard barbecue sauce, next level, bro.
Oh, great.
I wanted to put it on my eggs this morning. I am just looking for vehicles to get this into my body.
I had a guy that bought 6 bottles of it, and he says, I'm addicted to it. And he mentioned eggs, which is the strangest thing. And I never thought, I've come out with 4 sauces right now. And I never thought that the honey mustard would be probably the most mentioned one. That and the apple chipotle. But that honey mustard, it really opens up whatever you're eating. So if you get a Texas hot link and it's got some of that heat along with that vinegar in the mustard, it's good stuff.
Delicious. Hey, just so people know too that are watching, my monitor is below the camera. So I got the camera up here, but I keep looking down to read comments. So if people see me just looking down here, it's not because I'm losing it or I've had too many of these. All right. I'm just reading your comments, people. All right. Then we got Ben over here. Looks like he's setting his face on fire. Brian, your Wi-Fi kind of went out, so you sound like you were auto-tuned. This just feels like a rave all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's getting dark out here, so I threw a couple fire starters on a fire pit right in front of my face.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, your Wi-Fi is good, man. The volume's just tickling a little bit. But if everything went perfect, this wouldn't be a true live stream. If everything was crystal clear, it wouldn't feel. It's kind of like how you don't want anything to be too big budget on an indie film. You know, when you watch an indie film, you want to see that they had to actually like struggle to get it to go. So we're good. We appreciate you bringing some authenticity with the auto-tune voice, Brian.
Great.
So let's listen. You're the expert. Let's hear about your process for cooking some beef ribs if people want to try that. So if you want to do beef ribs for the Super Bowl, then go to a butcher shop tomorrow. You got time. Ask them for plated beef ribs. And then Sunday morning when they get up, what do they got to do to come out with a good product? I'm going to grab a beer while you start talking about that.
What I would generally do is I usually cut them into two. Most of the time they come in a rack of 4 bones. And I like to get as much bark as I can and keep some of the moisture in them. So I'll go get a full plate of them, 4 of them, and I'll cut them in half so it's 2 bones each. And yeah, I like it that way. They take a little longer in between the bones. They'll keep a little more of that collagen in them. I put a little bit of oil on them just to get them moist, hold that rub on there, and then I get a good rich beef or brisket rub. Sometimes I'll mix the two. I'll put a little bit more of a salt and pepper and garlic, and then I'll put a rub over the top of it. I'll let them sit then for about an hour, just out in the room, and what'll happen is the moisture will start to melt some of the rub into the meat itself. And then once I get it onto the smoker, I usually cook at about 250. They take a good 7-8 hours to cook. I kind of go with my mood if I want to wrap them or not. A lot of times you don't. If they're real fatty, that fat will just melt in there, and that's where you're getting a lot of the flavor. And the longer it's on that smoke, the rub will melt into it and create a nice bark. And if you do it right, I'm telling you, there's no better meat. You get that good bark. It tastes like jerky to me. And when you get in, you get a nice smoke ring and that fatty collagen. They're really good. I like them probably better than brisket, to be honest with you. Yeah,
well, the thing is that they're just as delicious as brisket, but also they're just so impressive looking. They make a really good Instagram post.
And you don't see them very often either. You don't see them in restaurants very often. For some reason, they've shot up in price all of a sudden, the last couple of years. But now they're a premium. But they're really fun to cook, and they're really hard to screw up. You're not going to dry them out too much as long as you watch them, get them to 200 degrees or so, and if they start to look like they're drying a little bit, and you want to wrap them in some peach paper or some tin foil, put a little bit of beef broth in there, just keep a little moisture. They're money.
So if I were to put you on the spot here and tell you another game day recipe, what's something off the top of your head that you think's good? The nice thing about beef ribs too, by the way, as long as we're comparing them to brisket, is a brisket takes a lot of planning, right? You gotta put that on the night before most times. Beef ribs, when I started to do these today, I got up this morning, I threw them on, I cranked I usually like to go low and slow, but it was okay going a little hot and fast to get them right. They were delicious. So they're a little bit.
Forget them. Briskets, you got to really baby, and it'll depend on the brisket itself too. They're all going to cook a little different. Beef ribs to me seem to just really be pretty forgivable, like a pork butt. Brisket takes a little bit more baby, and you got different parts to a brisket. Can cook faster than the others, so I enjoy just cooking the beef ribs and putting them in there and letting them do their thing.
Hey Brian, people are asking, what's the link where they can get some sauces?
www.badbonesbbq.com. Right now, I got one here. This is our signature one, Beast. That goes great on brisket. That's what I use in competitions. We got brisket of the year using that. We've got Beast, which is our kind of our signature sauce. Then we've got apple chipotle, the honey mustard, and then we've got one called Hellbent, which is a spicier version, of Beast. And in the process right now, we've got a cherry habanero and a smoked peach. And all of them are kind of a different heat level. So, the smoked peach and the honey mustard aren't really hot. And then you get into the Beast and it starts picking up. Apple chipotle, and then the cherry habanero starts to pick up some good heat. And the Hellbent's hot, but it's not so hot that you can't, eat your food. It really complements the meat. So that's my new favorite is the Hellbent. I like spicy foods, and once you start eating it, then you don't stop.
Yeah, Richard's coming strong with bacon wrapped portobello caps with zesty Italian and Parmesan, short and sweet cut. Oh, I like that, Richard. So I that's a good tip. We asked people for what they're going to be cooking. So like I said, what's something other than the beef ribs that it makes a good game day smoke, Brian, that you can come up with off the top of your head?
Well, I'm trying out a new pork rib here I've been working on, and so I'm going to probably throw on some pork ribs. But I like doing a queso. I like doing a smoked queso where I take cheese, I put some of my rub in it, I put some jalapeno, some cream cheese, queso, and whatever else you want to put, a little chili powder, and I'll put that in the smoker for a while, and it picks up a nice smoke, and I like that with Fritos. So
Nice.
we'll probably be cooking some of that. We'll probably cook some wings tomorrow too, because that's what we do. We're always cooking something or another.
So we already went through our wing process. What do you do when you smoke wings?
You know what? It was similar to what you guys are talking. I do pat them dry first. I think that helps.
Smart, yeah.
Get them a little crispy. My cook time, I cook them hour and a half to 2 hours. I like to get plenty of smoke on them, and I'll put a lot of rub on them. And I also do that. I'll put the rub on and let them sit for a half hour, 40 minutes while the smoker's warming up. And then when I get them on there, I'll let them cook, to 185, or so, a little higher than you normally would because it just absorbs some of that smoke. And then I will sauce them for a little bit and let that sauce bake on there, usually 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And that way it just it's not floppy on there. It kind of gels to the meat. And that's what I do. Sometimes I'll cook I'll cook a bunch of wings and I'll put 2 or 3 different sauces on them. I'll have one with honey mustard, one with the hot, and,
Have you ever stolen a bunch of Chick-fil-A sauce and tossed them in that? It's really good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. But no, I use my sauces.
I had this in my fridge before now. I don't need Chick-fil-A sauce anymore. I got this stuff.
But I would go get a Chick-fil-A and dip it in that honey mustard. That's for sure. I'll do that. I do that all the time. I'll go get the chicken strips and come home and eat just so I have a vehicle to eat my sauce.
That's what I'm saying, man. Half the time I'm eating food just to put sauce into my body.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice. All right, listen, I'm going to give away some more stuff here real quick. I got a bunch of koozies, man. We got some koozies. This is the official Bear Mountain koozie. And I want everyone that wants something to feel like they got something. So if you want a koozie or 2 or 3, I think this is the easy way to do it. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Dave W Comedy, and then message me your address. And then I'm going to just mail out koozies until I run out of koozies, okay? And I'm sure Ben will help me and make sure I have a ton of them.
We'll keep them flowing.
So if you want a Bear Mountain koozie, go to my Instagram at Dave W Comedy, and then message me your address, and I'm going to send you a koozie, and I might even shove 2 or 3 in there. So are you're going to do beef ribs on Sunday, Brian?
Oh yeah, I'll probably put a whole bunch of stuff on at the same time, and then it'll all come off at different times. So I'll probably put some the beef ribs on mid-morning, and then throw some wings on and some ribs, and the wings will be done first, then the pork ribs, and then the beef ribs a little later.
So what do you guys think about someone who's watching right now and they want to try smoking something on Sunday, but they don't have a smoker? I know that, you know, a lot of people, their first time that they try doing it, they just use their barbecue grill and they do, you know, they do indirect heat and they throw a little wood in there. And I think, Ben, you guys have something that they could use now to do that, right?
We do. My lighting is pretty poor right now, and I apologize for that.
Oh, it looks
we've
great,
got,
buddy.
We've got a new product. Yeah, we've got a new product called our barbecue Smokums, right? So Bear Mountain Smokums, they're a great product to use if you don't have a smoker or pellet grill to use on your gas charcoal grill. To add that nice kiss of smoke, nice smoke flavor to almost any meal you're going to do. So it's great for folks, like I said, you got a gas charcoal grill, you want to try smoking some food, maybe even like try out pellet grilling and what that pellet smoke flavor is going to taste like before you make the commitment into a pellet grill. It's a great way to try it out, but it's a great way to add some smoke flavor to, you know, whatever it may be, burgers, chicken, steak, veggies. So you think about for the game, you're going to do some jalapeno poppers and add some smoke flavor to those smoky jalapeno poppers. It's perfect for that.
Man, I got to tell you,
So,
dude, I always
let's do a giveaway. Let's give away some Smokums right now.
Okay. Do you have an idea how to do it? Or do you want me to come up with it?
I'm going to throw that to you to come up with how we do it. How do we do it? How do we do it on the live feed? But I'm ready to go.
Oh, man, I got a good production crew and good lighting.
Boom. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's getting dark out here, and all I've got.
That's what it looks like.
Guys, I literally have. Guys,
Bam.
look, check it out. I've got a fire in a hibachi grill. That's what I'm working with right now. So I apologize.
All you do is you put some meat in your microwave, you throw this in there, you hit 5 minutes. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That would be disastrous.
No,
and so
I would say if somebody does that, make sure you film that on Instagram because we'd love to see what happens.
And don't sue me. I take no liability for what might happen. No, I've always compartmentalized, like when you smoke something, that's got the smoky flavor. And when you grill something, you know, that's charcoal or, you know, or your nice grease off the grate, like that flavor, right? But since I got this Santa Maria grill, I've been grilling on wood. And never did I realize what I was missing by not having a wood flavor on my steaks and things that I would normally grill. And I can't go back now. So to have an option to add some smoke flavor when I'm not using my smoker and grilling, I mean, it's like opened up a whole new world for me. And I see Brian wanting to comment on it.
I was going to say, have you tried a rotisserie on that Santa Maria grill?
Absolutely, yeah. I got a nice spit. And I wanted to have something up there today, and then we could kind of like cut over to it. This is definitely something I'm going to try. By the way, I want to throw like a roast on the spit. This is going to be my social experiment to see where social media is with all this barbecue stuff. I'm going to put something on the spit, you know, like a nice roast or something, or a ribeye roast or whatever, and let it go. And I'm going to go Instagram live. And I'm just going to let it go for like 2 hours. And I'm going to see how many people just sit there and watch it on my Instagram live. I'm never going to give them any context. I'm not going to say, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm just going to show it. And I want to see how interested people are in it.
I think they'll watch. I don't know about 2 hours, but it's a fun process, isn't it? Isn't it a different flavor, a different process? And it's what cooking's all about to me.
Yep.
I really do enjoy that. I like it as much as smoking. And it's a lot of fun to do that.
Well, dude, 100%. And you're good. The biggest challenge in cooking anything is overcooking it. So the slower you cook it, the least likely you're going to overcook it, but get even better flavor because you're giving it so much time to get, you know, all those flavors into it. I mean, 100%.
Oh yeah. When I first got it, you know, I didn't know what the cook times were going to be. And obviously it depends on how much wood or charcoal you have underneath it. And I think the first time I cooked a chicken, it was about 4.5 hours. But I'll tell you, that was a juicy dang chicken. I mean, it cooked real slow, got the juices that needed to be out and got it cooked, and it was good. Very good. Nice color.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, someone's asking if they can use these to smoke cheese instead of using the smoke tube.
You know, it does work. The only thing is you want to make sure that you're offset enough from your heat within your gas grill, for instance, right? You want to make sure you're not going to melt the cheese while you're doing it. So if you've got like a nice like 6 or 8 burner kind of gas grill, you can really set it well off to the side and have the Smokum running on one side and your cheese well off to the other side. But it does require a heat. It does require a flame coming up from your gas or charcoal in order to activate this Smokums.
Yeah, man, smoked cheese is something I have not tried yet. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. There's so many things. I have my own barbecue podcast because I love barbecue so much, and there's still so many things I haven't even touched yet. Smoked salt, smoked almonds. I hear people are even smoking ice now.
Smoke it. If you smoke your water, right? I love it. I smoke water all the time and then throw it into ice cube trays. If you smoke your water for about 20 minutes and smoke it in a foil pan, throw it in an ice cube tray, and you've got smoked ice. You're good to go. It's great to drop it in a bourbon. Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
What I was
saying, you're not doing that for your sweet tea. That's for bourbon for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, another really a really fun thing to smoke is coffee, right? If you smoke your coffee beans, buy some coffee beans, buy the cheapest coffee beans you can at Costco. If you're a coffee drinker, buy the cheapest beans you can, throw them on your grill, and smoke them for about 30, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, depends on how much smoke you like. And then when you grind them, you've got this like beautiful, like smoked ground, like roast coffee. It's awesome. It's a great way to enjoy your coffee in the morning is with a little smoke to it. So
I think
so many things you could do.
If I started doing that.
Yeah.
My wife would kill me if I started doing that. She says I smell like smoke all the time anyway. I started bringing in smoked coffee, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, before I forget, I'm going to give away one more. Let's see. I think we've given away everything. Should we give away, Brian, should we give away some sauces?
Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
We do a sauce pack? All right. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go follow Bad Bones Barbecue on Instagram, and then message me at Dave W Comedy on Instagram and tell me the secret password, which is Bad Bones. And then whoever does that first, I'm gonna send them a pack of these barbecue sauces. All right, you guys got that? Follow Bad Bones Barbecue. Go to my Instagram, and I'm gonna check and make sure you're following Bad Bones Barbecue, and then message me and let me know that the password Bad Bones. All right.
Yeah, we'll get them hooked on it.
Yeah, 100%. You should give away sauces to everyone who asks for them because you're going to get repeat business from them.
Oh, good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's sort of when you got a good product. Can you just tell us a little bit about just about Bad Bones in general, Brian? Like how long you been doing this? When did you get into the competition side? Just tell us about you a little bit.
Well, we started competing, I'd say about 10 years ago, my wife and I, and we started cooking small little events here in town and kind of grew from there. We figured out what the PNWBA was, Pacific Northwest Barbecue Association, which is the next level up. You know, it's like KCBS, but it's our local sanctioning body. And we started competing in that and winning and doing well in that as well. And then we discovered KCBS, which is a little more national. And we just grew from there. We started having fun. We started meeting people, enjoying the competitions and the social aspects of it. And we just kept going, and we've been all over the country. And the one thing we did get to do this year before COVID hit, it was just actually hitting. We got to go do meat stock in New Zealand and compete there to represent the United States against 3 Australian teams. And I think it was their national championship. So there was, 50 some teams in the actual cook-off, but they kind of put us in an area and we competed against them. And then, kind of died off. We're looking forward to getting back into it this year. We're in the process of signing up for Memphis in May. We're on a team there, Big Mo Kason's team. And that's always fun.
Big Mo.
Great. Big party there. And that's probably our favorite cook. The Jack is a great one too. But I'll tell you, Memphis is just one big party, and it's all about barbecue, and all of our friends are there, and it's a lot of fun, and we hope it happens this year. But I'm afraid it'll probably be in a little bit more of a scaled down version, but if we can get in and go, we'll do it. We're ready to get moving again. We miss traveling.
Yeah. You and me both, brother. I travel as a comedian. That's my livelihood. And, I've been lucky enough we went and did drive-in movie theaters for a good portion of 2020 and figured out a pivot and keep everyone safe and still perform. But I sure miss the regularity of going and doing meet and greets and going to the bar and meeting fans after. And I definitely miss it. And by the way, I've had multiple people invite me to Memphis and May. If you guys are going to be there, if you and Big Mo are going to be there, I think that might seal the deal, dude. I might just have to book a ticket and go and hang out and have some fun.
You should. The parties there are amazing. I'm not sure how they're going to regulate that, but I mean, some of the booths are 3 stories high and have bands and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely out of control, but it's a lot of fun. And it's, like I said, Memphis is a great town and the people are great and the event's great. You would definitely love it.
All right. So let me ask you guys something while it's on my brain, and maybe you can help me with this, because this is a problem I've been having, is whenever I have a recipe that calls for wrapping in bacon, the jalapeno poppers are an example we already brought up. The other day I did a smoked meatloaf for the first time ever, and I wrapped it in bacon. And sometimes it's fine, but sometimes the outside of the bacon is perfect and the inside is still pretty undercooked. Are there any tricks that I can come up with to make sure that my bacon's cooked all the way through when I'm doing it in the smoker?
I would say either cook a little longer or a little hotter, or get a little thinner bacon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Thin bacon is great for wrapping. That thick bacon is great for eating, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because the meatloaf I just did, it was pretty thick cut bacon, so that was probably my problem.
Yeah, bacon won't hurt it, though. That's always good.
I ate it anyway. Trust me, it was great.
Yeah. Well, put some of my sauce on there. It'll be good, too.
Don't worry about the food poisoning. I'm undercooked meat. All right, we're going to do one more giveaway, and then as I'm doing this giveaway, I want you guys to think, because I think we've hit about an hour by now, right? Maddie, so this is how we're going to wrap up, guys, okay? I'm giving everyone instructions. Maddie, I want to hear some of the best football team names from you, okay? Just come up with a couple of them. I just want to hear them. I'm going to announce the next giveaway, which is the last giveaway. Oh, no, wait. Ben, you had an apron pack, right?
I was going to say, we've got a giveaway from our team at Swine Life, right? So we're going to give away a pack of rubs as well as a little barbecue kit with that.
And then we've got an apron. All right, we're going to give away some stuff right now. We've got
an apron kit. Yeah, we've got an apron kit, a Bear Mountain apron kit, an embroidered kit with, let me see if I can bring it over here onto the camera.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like in front of flickering lights.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough. I'm literally sitting on top of a fire right now just to stay warm and give me some light. But that's it right here. So you got a nice embroidered apron kit, bunch of tools for barbecue. You're ready to go. You're rocking this thing.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna come up with some different ways that we're gonna give away that stuff. All right. In the meantime, I want the two of you guys to think of a parting recipe or tip or information or story or something you can leave the people that have been kind enough to tune in and watch this, something to bring them some value, okay? So cue something up in your brain, something they can do for Sunday. Just listen, if it's a recipe they could cook on Sunday, if it's something they could say to sound smart in front of their friends, like, oh, well, Brian Gurney from Bad Bones Barbecue said, just something. We're going to bring value to the people watching, okay? So you guys each cue something up. I'm going to do the giveaways, and then Maddie's going to give me some team names. So let's do the first giveaway is going to be, we have another bag of pellets that we're going to give away. We're going to mail it to your house. You don't have to go to the store and pick up a bag of pellets, all right? I want you to subscribe to my podcast. How about that? Self-promotion, everyone. I am shameless. So subscribe to Meet Dave Podcast on any of the platforms that you watch podcasts. Screenshot that you subscribed, and then message that to me, that screenshot to @DaveW Comedy on Instagram. I'm going to pick one at random, and I'm going to send you a bag of pellets. Ben, has got an apron pack there. I want you guys to drop a recipe in the comment section, either on YouTube or Facebook here. That way other people can see your recipe of something that you're going to do on the smoker on Sunday. We're going to pick our favorite recipe that someone drops on there. We're going to send them that apron pack as a thank you for sharing that with everybody. And then the last one was Swine Life. We're going to do some rubs. They have the Mississippi Grit and the Mississippi Grind, two awesome rubs that those guys put out. They're great ambassadors of Bear Mountain. I just had Mark Williams on the Meat Day podcast a couple days ago. Listen to that episode if you guys want. He was going to join us today. He had a family emergency, so we hope everything's well with him. But we're still going to give someone one of those rubs. Let's just go ahead and, you know what? We'll save that. There's going to be so many good team names. We'll give that away to one of our favorite team names. How about that? So well, the prize we already promised, the bag of pellets and the Mississippi Grind rub, we're going to give away to one of these team names that I think is awesome. I'll message them and get their address from them. Matt, you got some good ones for us?
Yeah.
All right. So these are NFL. If you were to buy an NFL franchise and then we're forced to name it something barbecue themed, these are some of the good ones we got. Two sauced. All right. I like that. It's like the Los Angeles two sauce.
Yeah.
It's like two chains, but two sauce.
The saucy pigskins.
The saucy pigskins. I like that. Sounds a little sexy, but saucy pigskins. Touchdown.
City.
What is it?
Soot City.
Soot City. All right.
Smoking hogs.
Smoking hogs.
Butts and guts.
Butts and guts. I like that one. So it's like the Buffalo butts and guts for 3.
Heifer pirates.
Heifer pirates.
Yeah.
That guy's getting a little creative.
The buffalo chickens.
The buffalo chickens. I like that one.
Yeah. The pit bandits.
Pit bandits. That sounds badass. Everyone's going kind of pirate themed these days because of the Buccaneers in there.
It's either pirates or buffalo, huh?
That's it. Oh, Sticky Wings. I like that because that sounds like a team name.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like that. Like the Minneapolis Sticky Wings or whatever. I like. All right. Well, I'm not going to declare a winner yet. I want to go after this and really sift through and pick a winner, and we're going to mail you some prizes. Thank you guys for doing that. That was a lot of fun. All right, guys. Let's wrap up by giving the viewers some value. Ben, you go first.
All right. I'm going to say check out BearMountainBarbecue.com and check out the recipes we've got. We've got a lot of fun recipes, easy to make recipes, and ways to really add some really fun flair if you are doing something for the big game. You know, whether it's for family, friends, your local community, your little pandemic pod, if you will. But some great tips and tricks there that are really approachable recipes to make you stand out as the guy that's going to end up hosting next year as well.
All right, good. I like it. Brian, you got something?
I do. I would say, my all-time favorite thing to cook is brisket. And I would say a tip would be to be patient. Don't rush it. It's not a matter of time, and it's not necessarily a matter of temp. Use those as guides, but too often people pull them way too early. Let it get to where it's happy, where it's nice and soft, and it's starting to change to where it's getting a little bit of gelatinous movement to it, and then pull it and let it rest. You could let it rest anywhere from 2-3 hours or more. If it's covered, you could let it rest 6 or 8 hours, honestly. So I would just be patient with it and make sure you finish the cook-off and don't pull it too early.
100%. And I'll tack on to that. I'll say that I see what a lot of people do is they are so eager to follow a tip they saw online that they all want to wrap in a towel and throw it in a cooler, and which is fine. But there's only reason you need to do that is if you're waiting a long time to eat it. If you're going to just pull it out of the smoker and let it rest, you can just put it on the counter if you want, right? So what a lot of people do, they make this mistake with their first brisket is they cook it up to whatever their final temperature they think it should be, which is usually 200 to 203, depending on what philosophy you follow. I usually go just a little over 200, like 203. And then they pull it, and then they wrap it and put it in the cooler. And the problem then is it cooks more in the cooler. It's so insulated. So now you're overcooking it. So if you're gonna put it in the cooler and let it wait a few hours for your rest, pull it a little earlier. Pull it like 197, 198, wrap it.
Mhm.
I think it usually carries about 5 degrees. Don't you think, Brian?
Oh yeah, it will. But if you pull it too early, it'll tend to tighten up a little bit more. So yeah, 197, 198. If you're going to let it rest a long time, I think that's fine. I usually cook it to where I like it, and then it'll cook just a little more. And I like it to where it's real loose. So either way works. As long as you let it rest, that's really important. You cut it too early, it starts steaming and lets all that juice out, runs all over the table. That's all the flavor and all the good parts of it.
That's what you work for, right?
Someone cooks 1 or 2 good briskets and they're getting confident, and then they invite people over their house, and then everyone's like, I thought we were going to eat. I'm hungry. And they pull it because they're like, oh, the guests are hungry. Worst thing you could do. I will look the guests in the eye and say, if you don't want to wait for this brisket, get out. Wait, make them wait. And then they pull it out, you put it in front of them, and you make make them look at it for at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes.
They're hungry. Good and hungry when they do get to it. It's even better.
If they can't show that patience, you tell them to kick rocks and hit the street, because the worst thing you could do is slice into it, pull it too early, and then slice into it too early. You got to wait, man. Otherwise, you just spend all that time for nothing.
And put a little bit of this on there. There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
that'll enhance all those flavors.
It'll make it all better.
That smoke, that beef. It opens up. It's good stuff.
So then my advice to end the broadcast is just go for it, guys. If you are, want to get into this whole barbecue thing, and you haven't really, you've only dipped your toe in the waters and you've never done a brisket, just go for it. Like these guys have already said on this broadcast, there's not a lot of things you can do to totally screw it up. Worst case scenario, your brisket's a little dry. You didn't waste your money. Just chop it up and put it in your eggs the next day, or make put some of Brian's awesome sauce on it and make a sandwich out of it. You're not going to totally destroy it. It's going to be fine, okay? But you got to learn by just doing it, okay? There's no shortcuts.
Absolutely.
And watch tons of content out there. There's lots of stuff on YouTube. I'm sure Brian's got a lot of good information out there, right? There's tons of barbecue dudes out there. Watch them, and then watch 2 or 3 of them, and then kind of cherry pick which things make sense for you, right? No one's got one particular blueprint to get a good product. So just go for it. That's my advice. Don't be afraid to screw up. And you're gonna do a lot.
You learn.
What's that?
I'm sorry. That's how you learn. You're not going to learn if you do it right every time. It's by the mistakes, and you learn by trial and error. And that's how you're going to get better. And you make a couple of mistakes here, and then the next time that mistake happens, you know how to fix it. Or fix it beforehand. So, and it's different every time.
Hey, and also, your first brisket is your worst brisket, right?
I threw mine.
That's the way it
works. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I threw it out.
And then you're just going to grow from there. So you got to get started somewhere. Yep. That's the first place to go, is just do the first one.
Yep. And set yourself up for success. We talked earlier about trying it out in your, with the Smokums, or buying those cheap offset, smokers, and trying it that way. But honestly, man, once you get it doesn't have to be expensive. You can get a little digital, smokehouse, all the way up to a really nice Highline pellet smoker, whatever you want to get. But set yourself up for success. Get some good products. We got Bear Mountain pellets. All their brands are awesome. You can get them all over the place. A couple people are gonna get some free ones tonight. You can get Brian's sauces. Go ahead, guys, plug your personal Instagrams and your business Instagrams and websites or whatever you need. So, because a lot of people are asking for links to different stuff. Go ahead, let them know where you can find all that stuff, and then we'll say goodnight.
All right, yeah. On the personal side, check out at smokinginthesuburb.com. I like to do a lot of fun things. I roll some barbecue sushi and beer and all sorts of things local to fun here in Colorado. And at bearmountainbarbecue.com and at Bear Mountain Barbecue, you'll find tons of fun things and links to recipes, all sorts of fun things we like to share from our community. So check us out. We're glad to be a part of this live tonight, and thanks, Dave, for having us.
Cool. Go for it, Brian.
Yeah, hit www.badbonesbarbecue.com. We're adding stuff all the time. We've got our 4 sauces we're just coming out with, 2 more in the hopper. I have 5 rubs in production. We got t-shirts, hats, videos of our travels at the different world championships here in the U.S. and competitions. And if you want to try the sauce, feel free to order it. We ship all over the U.S.
Awesome. My Instagram is @DaveWComedy. It's also my Twitter. I have a podcast called Meet Dave. That's the logo right there, just so you can see it and find it when you look it up. I have great guests. I hope to have Brian on sometime soon. Brian, let's connect. I'd like to have you on a future episode. And Ben, you as well, buddy. And also, guys, make sure that you support Bear Mountain for putting this together. Thank you so much, Bear Mountain, for all the support. And guys, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I missed in these comments or whatever, just message me on Instagram. I'm really good at going through, and it might take me a couple days, but I go through and I answer as many questions as I can. And if you ask me a barbecue question and I don't have the answer to it, I'm lucky enough that I've made friends with dudes like Brian, dudes like Ben, dudes like Big Mo that came up earlier, and I will go find those answers for you because I just love talking barbecue. So feel free to message me on Instagram @DaveWComedy. I will do my best. Give us a couple days or a week or so to comb through all the comments and hit you up about winners for all the stuff that we gave away tonight. I'm excited for you guys to get some swag. And I think that's a wrap, guys. Hope to see you soon in the future.
You.
Big thanks to my cameraman, JR, and my production person, Maddie Stocks. Thank you guys. @JR Big Shooter, @Maddie Stocks on what's your Instagram, Maddie? The Maddie Stocks. Very funny comedian and producer extraordinaire. Follow her. And God willing, I will get back on the road sometime soon. So if you follow me @DaveWComedy, I hope to see you guys on the road and to go have some barbecue with you guys all around the country. See you at Memphis in May.
Yes, for sure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Thank you, Bear Mountain. We appreciate you guys. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Some great food.